Max, King Boxing. Keith Thurman made his return, and we all saw Jose Lopez. What do you think he would have to do to get his name thrown back into the hat?
Thurman's name is in the hat. First of all, Thurman's a popular fighter. He connects. He has star power. Secondly, Thurman's a very tough guy. So he's one of these guys. Tim Bradley was kind of like this, although I know he's not the same kind of fighter as Thurman. Tim Bradley was a B-plus fighter that was more than a B-plus because he had something extra in him. I think Thurman's that kind of guy. If I just look at Thurman's skill and athletic ability, I say that's a B+. But he's more than that because he's got something in him. Just like Kell Brook to me was sort of like the next thing before the top pound-for-pound fighters, right? How good could Kell Brook be? And we saw he could get to the place I just said. Thurman to me is that kind of guy. Can the whole of Thurman be more than the sum of his parts? So just because, look, if I polled you guys, who do you think wins, Thurman or Spence?
Spence.
Spence.
Everyone thinks Spence. I think Spence too. Are we sure?
No.
Because Thurman's that kind of cat. Right. You're not like, okay, we think that Spence beats him, but I'd like to see it. Right. So just to be clear, when I talk Crawford and Spence and these kind of guys, yes, I see and believe the same thing you guys do. But we all also know that there have been enough examples in boxing history where you take a guy for granted, it turns out, no, you can't. And the funny thing is, a lot of times, like I think of Vernon Forrest, it becomes an exercise in righteousness for people in the press to be like, he deserves his shot. But when you actually ask people in the press, do you think he's going to win? No. But he just deserves his shot because it would be an injustice if he didn't get it. But what happened when Forrest got his shot? He won. So it's not enough just to say, hey, Thurman should fight one of these top guys, but we think he's going to lose. I'm not sure. And saying he deserves it is more than just an exercise in justice. It's like we really don't know.
Hey Max, how good did you think Kell Brook was before Spence went out there and beat him? Because he destroyed Porter. A lot of people thought that was a close fight, but Brook beat up Porter pretty good.
I felt the same way about Brook as I feel about Thurman. For different reasons. He's more skillful than Thurman, but wasn't as physically imposing as Thurman, right? But I still thought Brook, to me, is the next thing before you get to the special fighters, right? The athletically different fighters. And I think the same thing about Thurman. Now, Brook proved me right. He was the next thing to a special fighter. But Thurman could prove me wrong.
He almost got knocked out.
What's that?
His comeback fight, he almost got knocked out.
That's why we all see the same thing. But did he get knocked out? He's had some tough, close fights, but who was the winner in those fights? Yeah. And so, yes, I like Spence against Thurman. I'd like to see it.